Welcome, everybody, to the Bush and Me Show. It's week one of the NFL season. Finally, football's back. I'm excited. I know everybody out there is excited. Bush, you look excited. I mean, this is your second year where you're not in a camp. You're not sweating in the heat down in Mississippi or Miami.
I feel good, baby. I feel good, baby.
Over there trimming the bush. You excited football's back?
I'm very excited football's back. I think everybody's excited football's back, man. We get to see some good, healthy competition, some grown men running into each other. How can you not be excited about Thursday and Sunday?
I think we need to figure out what makes you excited and switch that around. Week one, we're going to get into it. Week one, what are you looking for most this week?
I'll have to say the no fans part of the game. That's going to be very interesting to me. I know we did hear reports of they're going to be pumping crowd noise. How is that going to affect the offense? How is it going to affect the communication on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball? And is the excitement of the game going to be taken away a little bit because you don't have 70,000, 80,000 people cheering you on, or 70,000, 80,000 people booing at you, cussing at you, the flow of the game, I just want to see what impact the crowd noise does, how loud it's going to be, how low it's going to be. Is it really going to simulate the crowd noises if you had screaming fans?
Couldn't agree more there. You said flow of the game, and I was thinking the same thing. But the point I was thinking of is the momentum or the momentum swings going to be sustainable? So say you're in a tie game, it's neck and neck. You're driving down the field and you throw a pick six. Usually that crowd, and you're on the road, usually the crowd, it's going to be hard to get that ball back and get another sustainable drive. But now nobody's going to be cheering. You get the ball back. It's like it almost never happened. I mean, it happened on the scoreboard, but is it going to be sustainable? Are momentum swings going to be sustainable? Are they going to be as big as they are in past years? I'm excited to see that. New faces and new places. We got four big-time QBs in different places. Look at Brady in Tampa. You got Cam in New England. You were saying Rivers in Indy, and your boy Teddy, is he going to be ready in Carolina? I'm excited about all that stuff.
Let's not forget about Tyrod out there with the Chargers now. I mean, he's not as I guess you could say he's not as big, but you could put him on the same kind of level. But Tyrod in LA is another one we need to be looking for, because I think he has a little motivation behind him. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. And just like you said, Tom in Tampa, Cam in New England, Teddy in Carolina with Joe Brady. That's exciting, because they already do have a relationship. So I'm excited to see how these guys do in a whole new environment. It's going to be very weird seeing some of these guys in these jerseys.
New jerseys, yeah. Now, the other guy I'm excited to see, Joey Burrow. Let's see if his game translates. I mean, he's starting in Cincinnati, not a lot to work with there, but can he start the rebuilding process that some of those guys we just named had to do when they went to their franchise?
I totally agree. I'm waiting to see how Joe Burrow does. I'm gonna talk about it in a little bit, because he's actually gonna come up in my Big Ballers, Bush's Big Ballers segment.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! But look, before we do transition though, I think we kind of hit on it before. What are we looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the tempo of the game. Who starts fast? Who's going to lag behind? The preseason, they're tough games, to be in. But the one thing that you do want to go into preseason with is establishing your tempo, offense, getting a play call, getting out of the huddle, getting up to the line, having enough time to communicate. That's important when those bullets are flying and it's a game situation. And the same thing with the defense. If you do have the crowd noise, the pumped-in crowd noise, it's all about how are you going to figure out to make sure that you're in the right place in the right time, and making sure that you're able to make the adjustments on the fly, because you have no film, no 2020 film. So I'm going to be I'm going to keep my eyes open just for the tempo of the game. I could see some false starts happening.
Very true. And where that tempo of the game originates from is inside tackle to tackle, the big hogs up front, the big ballers, as you like to say. So why don't you jump into it and give us Bush's Big Ballers, which offensive line matchups you like this week and why?
I'm going to talk a little bit about offense and defense. But look, Bush's Big Ballers, we're here again. I did talk about it in our last podcast when we started this season back up. But the first one, everybody in Tampa Bay. What was the big news out of Tampa Bay? Of course, it was Tom. They called it Tampa Bay, you know. And then Gronkowski comes into the mix. You know, you have a new Gronkowski full of life. But the other question mark was what? Will the O-line be able to protect Tom Brady this year? In my opinion, I say they can, but they do have a very tough matchup this week. They do have to go to New Orleans. They do face Cam Jordan in the defensive line of the New Orleans Saints. The matchup to look for, I just said it, Cam Jordan, Tristan Wirfs is the first-round draft pick out of Iowa. He's going to be lining up at right tackle. Bruce Arians just came out and said that they're going to have a plan for Cam Jordan. Cam, don't think you're going to sit there and run and have one-on-one pass rushes all game. Most likely they're going to slide to you. They're going to slide the protection to you. You're going to be getting chipped. You're going to have an occasional double team. That's what happens when you make multiple Pro Bowls, multiple All-Pros. You're not going to sit there and have the matchups that you want. But the good thing about Cam Jordan, he's found a way to beat those double teams in the past and continue to have success. On the other side of Cam Jordan, though, Marcus Davenport showed up on the injury report. If he can't go, Trey Hendrickson has to step in. Sheldon Rankins is coming off of an ankle injury last year. So we're going to have to see how he gets into the flow of the game. He didn't have any preseason games. Those were important for a guy like Sheldon Rankins. But no, he gets to go out there week one, see how his conditioning is, see how that ankle is feeling. Saints O-line, Cesar Ruiz, he comes up on the injury report. If he can't go, Nick Easton's going to step in for him. Tampa's D-line, in the middle, you got Sue and Vita Vea. That's serious. That's some big muscle. So those guys in the middle are going to have to be ready to go. And on the outside, you got JPP and Shaq Barrett. 28 sacks between those two guys last year. Shaq Barrett had 19 and a half himself. It's going to be a workout on both sides of the ball. If you're into the big guys, watching the big guys, that's going to be a really great game to watch. My second one, I have three of them. Bush's Big Ballers. The second game, the Cowboys offensive line in LA for Sunday Night Football. Anybody that has to line up against 99 Madden rating Aaron Donald, it's going to be a problem. They got Aaron Donald and they have Michael Brockers in the middle. That's going to be tough. And here's why it's going to be tough. You don't have your center, Travis Fredericks. You lost him to retirement. La'el Collins, your right tackle, he's going to be gone for at least 3 weeks. He's on injured reserve. I'm excited to see how they're going to be able to hold up. You have Cam Urban that's going to be starting at right tackle. You're going to have Joe Looney that's going to be at center for the Dallas Cowboys. They're still led by Tyron Smith, though, and Zach Martin. But Aaron Donald poses a threat to anybody he faces. Dak's trying to get paid. Well, that offensive line is going to have to protect for him. They're going to have to open some holes against a very experienced, especially interior defensive line of the Los Angeles Chargers, but the Rams. The Rams, and you already hit on it earlier. Heisman Trophy winner, national champion Joe Burrow, first-round draft pick. His O-line versus the Chargers defensive line. You got Bosa, 12 sacks last year. Melvin Ingram, 8 sacks last year. And they picked up Linval Joseph in the middle. That's a tough outing because now you got pressure in the middle and you got pressure on the outsides. I'm excited to see if the offensive line of Cincinnati Bengals are going to be able to hold up. You got Jonah Williams at left tackle, second-year guy, first career start. He's protecting the blind side of Joe Burrow. Strap it up, big dog, because Melvin Ingram is a power rusher who can give you the spin. He can work the edges really well. I played against him a few times myself. The guy can ball. And on the other side of Melvin Ingram, you have Joey Bosa, and he's going to be going up against Bobby Hart. He has some experience, but Joey Bosa, man, is a fierce competitor on the edge. He uses his hands really well. He can beat you inside, outside, and he has an all-day motor. Cincy's O-line is going to definitely have to protect the middle of the pocket, keep the dish clean, or this could be a quote-unquote welcome to the NFL moment for Joe Burrow. Those are my Bush's big baller 3 games to watch. Or 3 O-lines.
Baller, baller.
Ballers.
And nobody knows the O-line like 2-time Pro Bowl Jamon Bushrod. So thanks for that insight, brother.
Oh, shucks, dude.
All right. You gave us the big ballers. I'm going to go out and give you some fantasy impact players. I'm going to do this every week. This is going to be for week 1, fantasy impact players. Now, I don't want to go out there. I know your teams are already drafted, unless you're doing DraftKings or something like that. But I don't want to go out there and just give you the guys that are going to be obvious, you know, the Lamar Jacksons, the Patrick Mahomes. I want to try to look for some value to give you guys. So whether you're on a fantasy team already and you're looking to use the waiver wire or maybe utilize your bench, I'm going to try to look for value for you there. If you're doing DraftKings, maybe this will help you get some of the cheaper guys. So the first tip I'm going to give you is over-unders. If you're a fantasy player, you got to learn what the over-under is because that tells you what Vegas thinks is going to be a high-scoring game and a low-scoring game. So if you look at the board and you see some of the high-scoring games, those are the fantasy players you're going to want to target because they're tending to be high-scoring games. Vegas is usually right. So I'm going to give it by position now. Let's jump into it. Quarterbacks. The quarterbacks I like this week, I love me some Dak Prescott against your LA Rams like you were just talking about. He's got a lot of weapons, and he's going to utilize all of them. So if you got Dax, if you can pick him up, I love him. Also, another value pick out there, Matt Ryan. I think Atlanta, 7-9 last year, adding Todd Gurley, they have a lot more firepower as well. I think Ryan's going to come out. He's going to be in a tough matchup against Seattle. But, you know, Jamal Adams is new out there. I think they still have some timing issues to work out. I think Matt Ryan's going to have a big game. Over-unders there, 49 in Dallas, 52 in Atlanta. So those are some high numbers there. Sleeper at QB this week. I'm looking Monday night. Daniel Jones coming in. He's going to be playing Pittsburgh, but he's at home. Big Ben's going to be back, and he might put up some points. So Daniel Jones is going to have to come back a little bit. He's going to be throwing the ball. I like Daniel Jones Monday night to get you some fantasy points if you need a quarterback there. So you got Dax, you got Matt Ryan, you got Daniel Jones. At running back, I love me some Austin Eckler this week. You talked about Joe Burrow, how he's going to do. I think he's going to be competitive, but I think LA is going to neutralize that by kind of keeping him off the field. They're going to run the ball, and Austin Eckler is going to get a lot of touches. So if you can get Eckler, utilize him. I also like me some Josh Jacobs, the Vegas Raiders this year. They're playing Carolina. Carolina's got a young defense, first team ever to take all defensive players in the draft. They're going to try and throw them in the mix a little bit. They're going to have a little timing issue too. I think it's going to take a while for them to gel as a unit. Josh Jacobs going to eat him up a little bit inside. He's going to get a lot of carries. So you got Austin Eckler, you got Josh Jacobs at running back. If you need a sleeper, you can go to the Washington football team. I don't think we're allowed to say.
I got to get used to saying that. I got to get used to saying it. They don't even have. What's their logo? I think it was a football, right?
It's going to look like one of those creative team W's in the old video games, or maybe they'll use the replacements, the Washington Senators uniforms. Shane Falco will be at quarterback.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to go to them for a sleeper running back this week. Adrian Peterson, they just released, got picked up by Detroit, and that opened the gate for Antonio Gibson. I mean, Peterson praised this guy. He said he's such an athlete. I think they're going to try and feed him the rock. They're playing against the Eagles, who had the 18th ranked rush defense last year. So look for Antonio Gibson if you need a flyer. Steal him off the waiver wire. So you got Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, Antonio Gibson. Wide receiver. Look no further than Kenny Galladay. Detroit Lions. Matt Stafford's back, and I think he's going to be airing it out to him. Matt Patricia, if you listened to our last episode, you know I love the Detroit Lions this year. Over 6.5 wins was my first Me's money move, and I think they start off this week going to Kenny Galladay. So if you don't have him, I know you can't use him, but he is my number one by far. It's not even close. Kenny Galladay, number one. If you're looking for a number two, T.Y. Hilton. He's got a new QB in Indianapolis, and I think Phillip Rivers is going to mesh with him nicely. Going to throw him the rock a little bit. Plus, he's playing against Jacksonville, so not a lot of help there. Go to T.Y. Hilton. If you need a sleeper, I don't know if this qualifies as a sleeper because this guy has been a stud in the past, but he's gotten injured. I'm going to throw Cooper Kupp out there. Same reason why I like Dax. Same reason why you highlighted the O-line, D-line in that game. This is going to be a high-powered offensive battle. It's going to go back and forth, up and down the field. And I think Cooper Kupp's going to get in that slot and be able to utilize some stuff there, and Jared Goff's going to find him. So Kenny Golladay, by far the top wide receiver this week for me. T.Y. Hilton, I think he's going to mesh with Rivers. And if you need a sleeper, go to Cooper Kupp. Tight end, I got 3 words for you. Gronk, Gronk, Gronk. I love me some Gronk. He's coming back thin. He's coming back quick. There's no timing that needs to happen there because him and Brady have years together. It's just new. Right. It's just a new place. It's a little warmer down there. That's all.
It is warm.
Get you some Gronk. If you can get Gronk, get you some Gronk. But if you're looking for a flyer, I do have a big sleeper here. I told you I like that Dallas game. I like Dak. I'm going with Blake Jarwin. First year starting in Dallas. He's going to come in there, and he's going to make some moves this week too against the Rams. Like I said, up and down the field. So Gronk, Gronk, Gronk. And if you need a sleeper in there, Blake Jarwin. So hopefully you guys utilize some of this. Hopefully it works out for us. Every week I'll be giving you some fantasy tips here.
Nice.
So you got your ballers, you got your fantasy.
You got your sleepers.
We got your sleepers. Now we need to get you some picks.
Yes,
now, last year this was Bush's specialty, especially his little upset picks every week. This year we're going to do a better job keeping track of records for you guys. You guys can come in and tell us where we're doing terrible, which picks worked out for you guys. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. So, Bush, why don't you give us your first pick of the week? We're going to do 3 each.
I'll start it off. Look, I'm staying with the hot team, or I guess you could say the hot team in the media. I'm staying with the Bucs and the Saints, but I think the Bucs go to New Orleans. It's unfortunate though, you won't have those Who-Dats in there just cheering their faces off. You won't have them, but I do think the Saints take this game this week versus the Bucs. They got to get this one at home because this is a proven opponent. This is kind of like a statement game for New Orleans. You got to beat Tom Brady. Tom Brady has he's the GOAT. Let's be real. Like he has so many rings he can't more than his one finger, more than his one hand. You know what I'm saying? So familiarity is key in this game. Familiarity is key, and this group has been together in New Orleans, especially offense and the defensive side of the ball. I think they'll be able to gel well on defense. They'll have a plan for Gronk. Believe that, me. They're definitely going to have a plan for him. They're going to have a plan. They're not going to let this guy run all over the field. And on offense, they did incorporate Emmanuel Sanders this year, but I think he's just a piece. It's not a whole bunch of different pieces that they have. I think they're going to have a good thing going. I think the Saints offense will be able to overpower the Buccaneers offense and come away with a win. So I'm going Saints over Bucs for my first one.
Saints over Bucs. And the spread's 3.5 in that game, so it looks like Vegas is baiting you to take the Bucs. So I like that pick. For my first 2 picks, I'm using a system that has done statistically well over the past 15 years. Vegas stays open for a reason, like I always say. There's a system that teams that won 5 games or less the year before, they get very undervalued weeks 1, 2, and 3. Public perception is that team is still bad when sometimes they could have had an injury the year before. They could have added some free agents. They could have added value in the draft where guys can come in and step up. So the Vegas lines are usually skewed here. And those teams actually since 2005 are covering the spread 58% of the time. Now, when that team is an underdog, they're covering the spread 63% of the time. So I ran the numbers. There's 9 such games this weekend. Now, that's way too many. So I had to throw them into some more systems and algorithms to get them down. I got it down to 2. And the first one I'm going to give you, you guys aren't going to like. You're not going to be very confident picks, but we just got to take them and run with them. The Washington football team. Can't say Redskins. The Washington football team is getting 6 points at home against the Philadelphia Eagles this week. Now, the Eagles swept them last year. They won by 10 points and they won by 5 points. And if you dig through the numbers, the games were a lot closer than that. They were almost equal on the total yards, turnovers. Everything was pretty. It was like one or two plays that dictated the outcome of that game, those games. And I think Haskins has a lot to prove here. He's going to come up under a new regime with Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera's first game in Washington. I think he's going to.
I like Ron Rivera.
That defense was ranked 27th last year, and he's a defensive guru. He was part of that 85 Bears team. He's going to come in and change the mindset there. The Eagles' defense was ranked 16th last year. I don't think they've done much to improve that. I think Haskins is going to come up and play big. I think this game's more of a coin flip. So to get 6 points here is a lot of value. It's too many points. I think you stay, and they're at home. So you take Washington at home, getting the 6 points.
The thing about that, kind of just sitting back, look at it. You already said Ron Rivera is bringing a whole new mindset. You know, that's what's going to be so beneficial for the I was about to say Washington football team. You know, but I like what Ron Rivera brings to the game. You know, it was always a tough out whenever you played him in Carolina. And the thing I love about the Redskins is that they have the defensive talent on that side of the ball. I think defense comes up big for them in this game here. Game number 2, you want me to start it?
2, throw it up.
2. Look, I'm going Chicago over Detroit. I just saw an article. Trubisky said he's got his swagger back, baby. Let's go. I want to see it because I want to see the Trubisky from not last year, the year before, because he was running that thing. He was tossing that thing. He just looked like he was having fun out there. They did pick up Ted Ginn Jr., so you got a burner. They picked up Jimmy Graham. They paid my dog. So they got Jimmy Graham, Allen Robinson. Was it Allen Hurns or Allen Robinson? Allen Robinson, Ted Ginn Jr., and they have a good, solid offensive line, so I like what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball. Akeem Hicks is back for the defense. You got that presence in the middle. He's going to be a force. He missed some games last year with injuries, so I know he's ready to go. It's a division game. It's time, baby. It's time. It's a division game. They're coming out the bat. They got to get this one. This is a big year for Trubisky. He needs these W's, especially versus Detroit. And you got Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn. That's going to be the difference maker here. I think they're going to get after Matt Stafford. But one thing about Matt Stafford, he's going to air that thing out. But you got to get to him quick. You got to get that pressure up the middle. But I do like Chicago over Detroit.
So you're going against my team of my Me's money move play of the year, the Detroit Lions. It's funny
between Detroit and Dallas, boy, you're on both of them dudes. So I'm going to be on you all year, baby.
So it's funny because we didn't plan this out, but my second pick is the Detroit Football Lions. Now, a lot of things you said there make sense, but a lot of it was I heard new. They added this guy, but there's timing that needs to take place to mesh. And your boy Mitchell is the starter. Now, here's the part that got me onto this game. I always say Vegas stays open for a reason. Detroit's favored by 3 points in this game. They're favored. Detroit was 3-12-1 last year. The Bears were 8-8, just missed the playoffs. Now you're telling me this 3-12-1 team is favored against them?
Hey, listen.
So I had to dig. So I dug in a little deeper. Your boy Mitchell Trubisky is 3-0 against the Lions. 3-0. Your boy Mitchell Trubisky last year threw for 511 yards, 6 TDs, only 1 interception in 2 games against these Lions, and won by a combined 19 points. They weren't even close.
Right.
But why are they favored? And it just comes back to Matt Stafford's back, right? He's healthy. Matt Patricia, like we just talked about with Ron Rivera, is changing that culture. This is year 3. You know, he's gotten rid of the problems. He's weeded out the weak. Everybody that's not buying into his system. Darius Slay, got rid of him. Brought over some people, 3 defensive guys from New England. They drafted Swift from Georgia. I just think this team's going to be so improved. And I love them this week, only laying a field goal. I think they're going to win by double digits. And I can't wait to text you on Sunday and let you know.
It's all good.
This is a double down pick. Because I win, you lose. Okay. You win, I lose. That hurts the standings a little bit.
I like that. They do have a couple new pieces, though, but I still like Chicago in this one. The third one still comes from the Belichick tree. I'm going Miami over New England in New England. What's the spread on that one? I know you're the spread guy. You're the numbers guy. Give me the numbers.
You're getting 6.5, so it's almost like they're baiting you to take New England because it's not quite a touchdown. So you're like, oh, they can win by 7, and I win.
Okay.
So I do like your mindset there.
Brian Flores, I think he's due. I think he's due for a win in Gillette Stadium. It'll be a big one. But they usually do. Miami usually plays New England tough. It is a new look Dolphins team. They're bringing in some good free agent pieces, some pieces from New England. They shored up their secondary, along with Xavier Howard. They brought in Byron Jones. I think they'll be able to go in there and make this a competitive game. Will they win? I don't know, but I think New England might just beat them by a field goal or so. I'm hoping from my standings point. But, just looking at the roster of New England, it doesn't look like they have that same firepower in years, in years before. So I feel like, but the thing about New England, it's the Patriot way. They're always going to find a way to get it done. But I think they start slow. I think Miami catches them slipping for the first game.
I like it. Like you said, there's not that fear factor, and I'm not talking about Joe Rogan fear factor, but there's not that fear factor when you go into New England. It's a new New England regime, and nobody's going to be scared. It's not like you're down as soon as you walk into the stadium like it used to be.
One thing that does scare me, though, is a healthy Cam Newton. A healthy Cam Newton can throw that ball. He's all over the field.
A healthy Cam Newton.
A way to extend play.
A healthy Cam Newton on a 1-year audition. Woo!
Oh man, he's so motivated right now. He's so fired up. So that's the one thing that really scares me in me picking Miami over New England, because I feel like this dude could just come out and just try to destroy everybody in his way. So I guess we'll see.
Well, keep your phone close on Sunday, because I'll be texting you if that happens too. So
don't be.
What happened to your Dolphins pick? What happened to your Dolphins pick? All right,
well, you got
my last pick is my favorite pick of the weekend. I love it. It was this close to being one of these Me's money moves, but I want to make sure it fits all the criteria for that one. It's week 1. There's a lot of unknowns, so we're going to hold off on those. But make sure you're following at Bush and Me Show on all platforms. If a Me's money move does pop up on a Sunday, we'll post it on the story. So make sure you're following it so you don't miss any of that action. I love the Atlanta Falcons at home, getting 1.5 against the Seattle Seahawks. Atlanta was 7-9 last year, had an up and down year, but they finished on a 4-game winning streak. They're headed in the right direction. They added Todd Gurley. They also added Hayden Hurst. Sorry, I was drawing a blank. Hayden Hurst, the tight end from the Ravens, went down there, and they added Dante Fowler on defense. So they got a lot of key guys there to plug in there, and they already had a solid team headed in the right direction. The other thing that scares me here for Seattle is their offensive line. They gave up a league-high 48 sacks last year. I remember one year when you were playing, you guys gave up less than 15, didn't you?
Yeah. Less than 20. I think it was less than 20. But we definitely had some good teams, yeah.
48 sacks is a lot to me. They went out and they signed Brandon Shell from the Jets to try to fix that up. They drafted Damian Lewis from the national champion LSU Tigers, but still you got a rookie there. And they got a brand new center. He's been on the team. Ethan Posick has been on the team for 3 years, but hasn't started. So now you're putting him at center, a brand new center that has to call the plays, send the direction, all that stuff. I just think it's going to take a couple weeks to get all that timed up. I love Atlanta in this game. Don't get me wrong, Russell Wilson was almost MVP for like 12 weeks last year. He's going to be able to put some numbers up. I just think it's going to be a shootout back and forth. Like I said, Matt Ryan's going to outshine him, and I love the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to win the game. They're getting 1.5, but they're going to win the game on Sunday.
That's a good pick. Atlanta's a team that's always scary. They're either just like last year, like not good and it's just not living up to their potential, or they're just firing on all cylinders. I'm excited about the Falcons. I'm excited about, honestly, the passing attack of the whole NFC South, but we'll get into that in the next few podcasts.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. I can't wait for the season to start. Let's go. Also, make sure you're following us for your Monday's picks. We're gonna release those as well on our social media. Make sure you guys are following Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Bush and Me Show.
YouTube, Bush and Me Show. Follow us. You know the deal. Tell a friend. Tell that friend to tell a friend. And get that friend to tell another friend. And that's how we grow. So keep rocking with us, man. It's Bush and Me. Thanks for listening. And we good, brother?
We're good. Enjoy your Sunday with the games. Let us know what you guys think.
Go Bulls, man! Woo, woo.